Rachel, the Pirates had the opportunity to find out exactly where they stand against the top of the Northwest Conference this past weekend when we played Whitman. And then an opportunity to, let some other players swing the racket against the community college.
Yeah.
Take us back through the weekend and how we gained as a team.
I like how you phrased that, in that we played Whitman, the top of the conference, and there have been years in the past where we play the top of the conference and it's just utterly sobering. And this weekend was actually encouraging, and you've heard other coaches say this before, and it always stings to lose, but we played better against Whitman this weekend than we did when we beat Puget Sound the weekend prior 9-0. And we had looks. Whitman is a team that has earned our respect. For many, many years, they were the better team this weekend, but we were there. We were close. We ended up losing 1-8, but we were at a match point in first dubs that could have gone our way. We split sets at 4 singles. I want to call out Jordan Turner Esposito. She had an incredible singles match. Just couldn't close it out because she was playing a very respectable Whitman player who has just a little more experience over Jordan. And there were close matches all the way down, and then there were some that just weren't. And even in those ones that weren't, we learned some things about how to develop points that I think are going to better prepare us for the rest of the season. The community college that we got to play on Sunday, local players, and honestly, we were so encouraged because they were great. We played Bellevue College the weekend prior, and Bellevue College was pretty weak compared to what we've seen them in the past. And honestly, it's just great to see that we have some other good local talent in our community college this year. They played us really, really tough. And as you mentioned, a lot of my players who didn't get to see playing time on Saturday got to step up and play in that match. And it's just nice to walk away knowing everyone on my roster is match ready.
You're going to be taking things, 1 week at a time, obviously. But as you look down the road, you talked about the improvement that you made from the fall to when you played College of Idaho the second time. Is that possible for this team to make that kind of improvement now over the course of the season? So perhaps if you see a Whitman again in the conference tournament, maybe it plays out a little differently. I
hope so. I always hope, but as you said, our goals have to be more present-minded for the time being. We have to make it to the conference tournament if we want to earn the right to be able to play them and prove that. And again, Whitman is a team that has our respect. For all the gains that I do think we will make, Whitman will make them too. So I hope we earn that right to be able to see them at the conference tournament at the end of this season.
The next step toward doing that begins this weekend. You have Linfield and Lewis and Clark, two very, very good teams in their own right. Talk about the challenges that you face this weekend at the Scotford Tennis Center.
Yes, that is the present-minded goal that I was referencing earlier. Lewis and Clark and Linfield they beat us pretty handedly last year, but as I've mentioned many times, we're a very different team this year than we were last year. And Linfield and Lewis and Clark really are not that different than they were last year, have always been good, solid, deep teams. But I think this weekend, perhaps more than any other weekend in the conference tournament, will give us insight as to whether or not we have an opportunity to go to the conference tournament. Linfield and Lewis and Clark are the teams for us to beat. And honestly, lots of talent in all three schools. I think it's going to come down to who shows up and is able to compete well, and I'm really grateful that we get to host these matches in our bubble.